President Macron, thank you very much for taking the time to answer our questions.
And welcome to Canada. Thank you for doing this in French and English, both of our official languages. You had dinner with Prime Minister Trudeau last night in his home. Yes, a one-on-one dinner. You are both going through some challenging times. I don't know if that came up. You're both facing strong opposition, a rise of populism, a population maybe a little dissatisfied with where things are in your respective countries. Why do you think that's happening right now, Mr. President?
I had indeed a very good discussion once again with Justin Trudeau, and he's a very good friend of mine, and we have a strong relationship. I think first, look at all the leaders all over the place. How many were present during COVID time? We are not so many. So your Prime Minister was elected in 2015, I was elected in 2017. So it's normal that going through all these challenges and crises, sometimes you have challenging times. Second, I think there is a rise of extremes in our societies and democracies for several reasons. Fears, anxiety, because of big changes, the demographic change, we're getting older. Mm-hmm. Migration is an issue, and it's part of the demography. Climate change, because it's challenging for our way of life and a lot of sectors. Technology and artificial intelligence, which is very worrying for some people, yes, but it's a source of opportunity. And in this time, inflation, purchasing power is clearly a challenge post-COVID. And we are in a very special period where a lot of people did forget what we did during COVID time crisis to protect our people, our economies, the households and so on, and would like to go and live in a better world. When we look at the situation, I think collectively we are digesting this inflation period of time. We are progressing, it will get better, but on the short run it's clear that we are facing this phenomenon. So my point is, I think it's quite normal in this, when you are involved in politics after many years. Second, our societies were confronted to several big crises and trauma. And third, we have in-depth reason of anxiety. What we want to do and what we are doing together is to try to just be pragmatic, loyal, and delivering the agenda in which we do believe, trying to reassure and provide a reasonable hope in the future.
Have you misread, though? You both are actually the longest serving G7 leaders, he longer than you.
This is true.
Yeah. But have you misread a little bit what the population wants from you? I understand what you're saying, that we've been through a lot, we're going through a lot, but have you misread what citizens need from their governments?
I mean, you're never the best in place to have such an assessment. I would say that we probably collectively we worked hard and we did our best vis-à-vis the COVID and the pandemic. Mm-hmm. Second, I think all our people and our economies rediscover what inflation means after COVID. And there is not yet a new normal, because we had the war in Ukraine,
yes,
we had this inflation, we had gas and so on. So it's very hard to have a unique and perfect reading of people's expectations. They want to have a better life, and they want to have a better way of life, and find a job or have a better salary. So I think we delivered a reasonable and pragmatic agenda, but now what we have to look at is that there is an increasing impatience of our people in all our societies. And when I look all around us, not just Canada and France, but there is a sort of consuming relationship to politics. When with an app and my cell phone.
Social media, yeah.
No, but I can get an immediate service with any app on my cell phone. Why is it so long to fix issues when you speak with the government? It's sometimes hard to explain, but it's much more complicated in our societies because we have such a level of complexity and solidarity already. So I would not say that we misread. I think we are lucid on the fact that we have to accelerate. And I think Prime Minister Trudeau is very lucid, and I am very lucid on the fact that we have to fix some critical issues: employment, cost of life, delivering the climate agenda, because we are both of us very committed and we do believe this is the future of our economy, and we can have both competitiveness, industrialization, and reduction of CO2 emission. And we want to defend our values in this complicated world, and we are very much aligned on that. So we will follow up. It's normal to have hard times. The question is not to stop the effort in this period of time, it's to explain, it's to get results, and we are committed to do so.
Mais est-ce que vous avez l'impression que vous êtes...
But do you feel that you and Mr. Trudeau are condemned by the opinion of the electorate, by that frustration? Did you say to Mr. Trudeau that he should stick with it? First of all, I won't talk about my private conversations with Mr. Trudeau. Certainly, we listen to each other, we have mutual respect for each other, and I have a great deal of esteem for him. And in addition to the friendship I have for your first Prime Minister, for all he's done for Canada, I believe that the path that he has taken has been validated in a number of elections. So I think that in political life, in our love life, and in life in general, there are times that are not too easy, there are tough times, but that doesn't mean we have to turn our back on everything and forget about our principles and our ideas. That's the wealth of our democratic life. But people have to have a specific idea of what the actual alternative is. It's fine to say it's not going fast enough, but who's proposing what exactly? Can we simply turn our backs on climate change? Would that be better? That's the debate. Should we totally abandon our values? That's the debate. So these are moments in our society where we're seeing a real multifaceted crisis happening. Why? Because the old world is not quite done with, but the new world hasn't arrived. And we're seeing that there are very deep transitions that are challenging our models. Climate change is challenging the way we produce things. It's challenging our social models. People live longer with chronic diseases. And behind all of that, we have very young societies through immigration. Tech change also changes the way we do things, the way we get our information, and people now are moved by more negative emotions. So these are major transitions happening within our society. So I believe that our duty as leaders is to provide clear, honest, sincere answers about what we can do and what we cannot do and how.
Let's talk about the Middle East. You are one of the countries trying to negotiate a 21-day ceasefire with Israel. Prime Minister Netanyahu said today, not going to happen. We are going to push into Lebanon. What are you prepared to do diplomatically to get to a point where this stops and the war doesn't further escalate?
I think first I want to say that Lebanon has so much suffered during the past few years.
Yep.
And clearly we stand shoulder to shoulder with this country and these people. They are wonderful people. This is a great country with a very special relationship with France. And our duty, our objective is peace in Lebanon and peace for Lebanese. I think Hezbollah is clearly the key question in Lebanon, and I think during the past few years they played a very negative role in the political landscape and for the security of the south of Lebanon. But today, Israel is taking a huge responsibility with a series of operations, with strikes, targeting as well civilians, and a lot of civilians died. We worked very hard during the past few days with the United States of America. We delivered yesterday together a paper. We had the agreement of all the Lebanese components. The Prime Minister expressed himself at the Security Council. Hezbollah, through himself, expressed the fact that they were ready of a ceasefire. Now everybody is waiting from the Prime Minister of Israel. If he refuses today, he takes a huge responsibility. And we will go to the Security Council. We had a very well-known resolution designing the responsibility of both sides, the 1701 resolution. We do stick to this one and we want the respect. UNIFIL is present at the border. And we wait for all the partners to be very vocal and committed with us in order to send this clear message. Israel cannot invade Lebanon today. War is not possible in Lebanon today. It would be a huge mistake, a huge risk of escalation, and not what the people can live. I do believe that we still have some hours during which the Prime Minister can commit and give chance for peace during these 21 days. And I do believe that the US now has to increase the pressure on the Prime Minister of Israel to do so.
But you also want Hezbollah to stop. That's what the Prime Minister of Israel would say to you. It's fine to ask us to stop, but what are you going to say to the terrorist organization who's been firing into Israel?
This is totally true. This is why we did act. This is why we are present with UNIFIL in support of the Lebanese armed forces. But let's be clear, this is a sovereign country. So our role as an international community is to help the Lebanese armed forces and Lebanon to restore its full sovereignty and to completely get rid of all these forces, militias, and people in the south, but not through the invasion of a neighbor.
Can you take one more question on Ukraine? I know that they're trying to wrap you up, but it's an important question, and you have been very forceful against President Putin and had strong relations with him to push back. You had speculated in the past about sending French troops to Ukraine. Is there a condition, a scenario where that happens? Where is this war going, and what is France prepared to do at this stage?
I was very clear on this issue and the fact that we want to support Ukraine. We want Ukraine to resist and save its territory and integrity. We don't want any escalation, and we are not in war with Russia, and we will remain in this framework. Having said that, I want to once again say how much impressed we are with the Ukrainian people, their bravery, their organization, their efficiency. So I think our role collectively is to sustain our efforts for Ukrainian resistance. And we are doing more. We will host in France thousands of Ukrainian soldiers to train and equip them. This is a commitment I took. And we will follow up, and we will follow the evolution of the situation. And I think the sustainability of the war effort from our side in order to help Ukraine to resist is, for me, the top priority. We have to help them without escalating because we want peace in this world. I think this is feasible. They delivered incredible results. They are organizing themselves for the months to come, which will be very hard, especially for winter time, because the Russians destroyed a lot of energetical capacities. But we are committed to...
but troops on the ground is not something you're...
This is not what is asked today, what is necessary, so I don't want to speculate.
We're going to let you go, because you have many things to do.
I have to rush to meet your Prime Minister.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Merci infiniment.
Merci beaucoup à tous les deux.